are you? I hope that you're all fine. I'm your teacher Jun Rey, and I'm here to discuss our next topic in anatomy and physiology. By the end of this lesson, the students will be able to explain the function of the urinary system, name and describe the major organs of the urinary system. But before that, I need a volunteer to lead the prayer. Anyone? Oh yes, Erica, you may lead the prayer. Class, let me check first the attendance, okay? Yona Iyasa, Rizal Ann. I'm so glad that you're all present. We have a perfect attendance. I hope that you're always like this. Do you still remember our last topic? Anyone who can remember? Yes, Soren. That's right. We have discussed about respiratory system. What is the function of respiratory system? Yes, it is responsible in the exchange of gases, the carbon dioxide and the oxygen inside our body. We inhale or breathe in oxygen that is needed in our body and breathe out the carbon dioxide as a waste product. What are the organs in the respiratory system? Yes, we have the nasal cavity, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, the lungs, the alveoli, and the diaphragm. These organs help in the exchange of gases inside our body. The air, which is the oxygen, enters our nose in the nasal cavity as we inhale. It passes through the pharynx to the larynx, passing in the bronchi to the bronchioles to enter the lungs. Inside the lungs are the sacs called the alveoli, where the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide takes place. After the exchange happened, the carbon dioxide will now leave our body as we exhale or breathe out. Now, I want to know if you are really familiar with the organs of the respiratory system. I have here pictures of the organs with jumbled letters, and you have to identify what is it called. You have 10 seconds for each picture. Time's up. I guess you've got all the correct answers. Did you ever wonder why we need to release urine most of the time? Well, the one that is behind this is the urinary system. Our urinary system. We have urinary system inside our body. How does this work? The urinary system's function is to filter blood and create urine as a waste byproduct. The organs of the urinary system include the kidneys, ureters, bladder, and urethra. The body takes nutrients from food and converts them to energy. After the body has taken the food components that it needs, waste products are left behind in the bowel and in the blood. The kidney and the urinary system help the body to eliminate liquid waste called urea and to keep chemicals such as potassium and sodium and water in balance. Urea is produced when foods containing protein such as meat, poultry, and certain vegetables are broken down in the body. Urea is carried in the bloodstream to the kidneys, where it is removed along with the water and other waste in the form of urine. Other important functions of the kidneys include blood pressure regulation and the production of erythropoietin, which controls red blood cell production in the bone marrow. Kidneys also regulate the acid-base balance and conserve fluids. The two kidneys. This pair of purplish-brown organs is located below the ribs toward the middle of the back. Their function is to remove waste products and drugs from the body, balance the body's fluids, release hormones to regulate blood pressure, and control production of red blood cells. The kidneys remove urea from the blood through tiny filtering units called nephrons. Each nephrons consists of a ball formed of a small blood capillaries called the glomerulus and a small tube called a renal tubule. Urea together with the water and other waste substances forms the urine as it passes through the nephrons and down the renal tubules of the kidney. The two ureters. These narrow tubes carry urine from the kidneys to the bladder. Muscles in the ureter walls continually tighten and relax, forcing the urine downward away from the kidneys. If urine backs up or is allowed to stand still, a kidney infection can develop. About every 10 to 15 seconds, small amounts of urine are emptied into the bladder from the ureters. The bladder. This triangle-shaped hollow organ is located in the lower abdomen. It is held in place by ligaments that are attached to other organs and the pelvic bones. The bladder's walls relax and expand to store urine, and contract and flatten to empty urine through the urethra. The typical healthy adult bladder can store up to 2 cups of urine for 2 to 5 hours. The sphincter muscles. These circular muscles help keep urine from leaking by closing tightly like a rubber band around the opening of the bladder. Nerves in the bladder. The nerves alert a person when it is time to urinate or empty the bladder. Urethra. These tubes allows urine to pass outside the body. The brain signals the bladder muscles to tighten, which squeezes the urine out of the bladder. At the same time, the brain signals the sphincter muscles to relax to let the urine exit the bladder through the urethra. When all the signals occurs in a correct order, normal urination occurs. Let's now proceed to the anatomy of the kidney. The kidneys are a pair of bean-shaped, brown organs about the size of your fist. They are covered by the renal capsule, which is a tough capsule of fibrous connective tissue. Adhering to the surface of each kidney are two layers of fat to help cushion them. Resting on the top of each kidney is an adrenal gland, which are involved in some renal system process despite being a primarily endocrine gland. The upper parts of the kidneys are partially protected by lower ribs, and each whole kidney and adrenal gland are surrounded by two layers of fat and the renal fascia. The kidneys are located at the rear wall of the abdominal cavity, just above the waistline, and are protected by the rib cage. They are considered retroperitoneal, which means that they lie behind the peritoneum, the membrane lining of the abdominal cavity. The internal anatomy of the kidneys. The cortex and the medulla make up two of the internal layers of a kidney and are composed of individual filtering units known as nephrons. There are three major regions of the kidney: the renal cortex, renal medulla, and the renal pelvis. The kidneys are surrounded by a renal cortex, a layer of tissue that is also covered by renal fascia, and the renal capsule. The renal cortex is the granular tissue due to the presence of nephrons, the functional unit of the kidney, that are located deeper within the kidney, within the renal pyramids of the medulla. The medulla is the inner region of the parenchyma of the kidney. The medulla consists of multiple pyramidal tissue masses called the renal pyramids, which are triangle structures that contain a dense network of nephrons. The renal pelvis contains the ileum. The ileum is the concave part of the bean shape where blood vessels and nerves enter and exit the kidney. It is also the point of the exit for the ureters, the urine-bearing tubes that exit the kidney and empty into the urinary bladder. The renal pelvis connects the kidney to the rest of the body. Here are some facts about urine. First, normal healthy urine is a pale straw or transparent yellow color. Second, darker yellow or honey-colored urine means you need more water. A darker, brownish color may indicate a liver problem or severe dehydration. Pinkish or red urine may mean blood in the urine. Again, urinary system is responsible in eliminating waste from the body. It also helps in regulating blood volume and blood circulation. The major organs of the urinary system are the kidneys, ureters, urinary bladder, and the urethra. These organs are the ones that do the job of filtering the blood and eliminating the liquid waste into a form of urine. I think you have now learned a lot on urinary system. I have here 10-item multiple choice test. You have 20 seconds for each item. Okay, hands up. We hope that you answered all the questions correctly. Thank you for listening and participating, class. We hope that you learned from our discussion. Thank you again, and God bless. Goodbye, everyone.